There was a nonprofit here in the United States that receives its funding from Qatar that pays $180,000 a month, and they paid Tucker to interview the Emir, I believe it was, of Qatar, so on and so forth. So it's unquestionable. We know that there are trips. Tucker's been to Qatar recently. He said it openly. He said it, and we can go through some of those clips if you want. He said it openly at Turning Point.
Is Qatar extreme in their Islam?
So they play both sides very, very well. But here's what we know for certain. They openly, since October 7th, have given hundreds of millions of dollars to Hamas. $350 million for sure, like right after it, they approved to go to Hamas.
You're about to learn where Tucker Carlson got a lot of his funding from. And maybe you'll be able to start to string together exactly why it's been so popular for someone like him to talk about the Middle East and against Israel for so long. And there's some other individuals who have fallen into this trap as well. Well, it's not really a trap because they knew exactly what they're stepping into. I'm the other Barack, coming to you live and direct here from the Holy Land in Israel. Folks, we hit 200,000 subscribers last week. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I'm so proud. If you're brand new, welcome. It would mean everything if you could just take 3 or 4 seconds, press that subscribe button. We put out a lot of content here on this platform every day. You want to make sure you press that bell icon so that you stay informed. And it's awesome to have you here. Here's the
Tucker Carlson's network. The seed money came from a guy named Omid Malik, who's a Pakistani Iranian. He's Pakistani Iranian descent, put up $15 million to start that network. We know that for a fact. It's public knowledge. There was a nonprofit here in the United States that receives its funding from Qatar that pays $180,000 a month, and they paid Tucker to interview the Emir, I believe it was, of Qatar, so on and so forth. So it's unquestionable. We know that there are trips. Tucker's been to Qatar recently. He said it openly. He said it, and we can go through some of those clips if you want. He said it openly at Turning Point.
Is Qatar extreme in their Islam?
So they play both sides very, very well. But here's what we know for certain. They openly, since October 7th, have given hundreds of millions of dollars to Hamas. $350 million for sure, like right after it, they approved to go to Hamas. They have a radical agenda.
So that's the end of the video, by the way. This is the Qatar influence theory that I've been talking about for the entirety of this conflict. I'm just looking on my screen. Like, for example, Tucker Carlson's YouTube channel has 4.73 million subscribers. He's putting out essentially 4 to 5 videos a week. His videos, like 4 days ago, he put out a video called, this was filmed on Saturday, October 4th. He put out a video with roughly under 1 million views. The volume of content also increased dramatically. And even just like if you look at the thumbnails, and he has, Candace Owens here, 4.2 million views, Candace Owens in the thumbnail, in the title. And then you go to Candace's profile, who has 5.34 million subscribers. And she's also grown herself a really, really large platform. And then you can go all the way to the people like the Miss Rachels. I called out Miss Rachel the other day, and I'm one of the few pro-Israel content creators and influencers that actually she saw, responded to, followed, we messaged, we went offline to WhatsApp, and then she went cold turkey. But I basically have called her out for her quick pivot from basically just doing childhood education stuff. I mean, I know people who have used, who have leveraged Miss Rachel's platform personally. And then you see suddenly this radical shift to flooding her feed, mostly on Instagram, with Gaza, flood Gaza on the page. And it came out of nowhere at a really interesting time. At a time where there was already a lot of information about the war. This was, by the way, after you would call it the peak climate of Israel-Palestine in the media. It's very easy to say today that in October 2025, Israel-Palestine is not the headline it was at the beginning. And I can tell you that firsthand just by talking to other people around the world. I'm talking to you offline in places like Europe, places like Africa, in places like North America, and soon I'll be in Australia, where they're even saying they're not seeing it as much, it's not coming up as much. And you have these conversations with people, unless they're asking directly about my work, they're not really paying attention to it. And it's also not showing up in their feed. So Israel-Palestine was, for the lack of a better word, less relevant in the globe's media, infiltrating into algorithms. You can even see it now also if you look at the pro-Palestine camp, how they're saying there's not as much stuff popping up. So it begs the question, Why does somebody, forget the Candaces and the Tuckers, but why does somebody like Miss Rachel jump in? And it's for the same reason that Qatar was able to fund Hamas. It's for the same reason that these Pakistanis, that these people overseas are able to help fund some of the biggest voices that are infiltrating into so many young people's minds. You know that there's a lot of college students in America, a lot of high school students in America that listen to Candace Owens and that listen to Tucker Carlson. I was in Houston, Texas about 2 weeks ago, and I was walking around the city, and I saw a group of 4 college students like eating McDonald's in the middle of the street. By the way, I'm a little congested, so that's why my voice sounds a little funny. And I saw these 4 students in the middle of the street having food, and they were all watching a video on somebody's iPhone. And as I got closer to their video, they were all just streaming Candace Owens. And like, that's live and direct, boots on the ground news for people in Texas in 2025. Candace Owens has reached their desktop in the middle of the street on their lunch break. Tucker Carlson has reached their desktop. And that's because they have crazy funding behind their platforms, because they couldn't do it on their own. But they have crazy funding behind their platforms because they know that they need this financial backing to be able to reach more people. You know what's really funny? I was just watching a video of Myron Gaines talking to Officer Tatum. And Myron was like, are you also getting paid $7,000 according to the Israeli media, who's apparently paying influencers $7,000 per post? Who, by the way, guys, full disclosure, I don't fucking get paid $1 by Israel to make content anywhere in the world. And so they're being like, yeah, Israel's paying influencers. Bro, do you guys know how much money Myron Gaines is getting paid to do this, to set up tables and speak to college students? Do you have any idea? Any idea? Well, now you do. What someone like Tucker Carlson's getting paid, what someone like Dave Smith is getting paid, what somebody like Candace Owens is getting paid, what somebody like Cenk Uygur is getting paid. Do you guys have any idea? Miss Rachel's getting pumped money into her bank account. These YouTubers, I don't even, not YouTubers, the kid on X, the college student, so much money. And there's so much money to pay them because they're funded by Qatar. It's the same group of people that essentially told Harvard and told all the Ivy League institutions in America, hey, we will gladly write you checks if you give us some autonomy into like what books are going to be given to your students freshman year. Why is that important to you? We just want to make sure that we have a little bit of control of what's going on over there in the classroom so that when they take a peek at what's going on over here in the Middle East or in this part of the world, they understand. Propaganda, infiltrate minds early, starts with influence. Not just in college classrooms, but people like Tucker Carlson. Straight from the horse's mouth. Thank you so much for all your support. Please, like I said in the beginning of this video, it would mean the world to me if you could just press that subscribe button. Here's a note from me.
Here are 4 ways you can help us grow if you believe in our mission. On Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal, you can directly contribute to helping this message grow and reach more people across the world. If you want to join the inner circle, join our Patreon with different tiers, and of course, our Discord community, which is free with people from all across the world. The links to every single one are in the description. And last but not least, to the other Barak community, I love you. Ani ohev otchem. I'll see you guys next time.